Hero Club presents Los Ingobernables de Tokusatsu.
Alright, and we're back with a brand new episode of Los Ingobernables de Tokusatsu. We had to take a break, one because, well, Projekt went MIA again, like he is this week as well, and also I decided to give us a break because I got busy during the week of Easter and had stuff I needed to do. I had to cook some stuff, had to clean some stuff, and had to keep working on that damn new wheelchair of mine while it was finally here. And so this week, originally it was supposed to be me and Oga, then Oga tapped out. Then it was going to be me and Visible Ninja, but Visible Ninja couldn't find his recording equipment. But then I went to the friend of mine, Janitor Joker, aka the Green Vape, for this day. Originally he was supposed to appear on episode 17 as our Sixth Senshi, but because it's 420, he made this exception. So
I just had to blaze it because those elves woke me up. And
I
when I
know.
woke up from those elves, I just had the most radical thought about how Marvel's multiverse makes no goddamn sense. Because how can Marvel destroy its main continuity? Because in another timeline, that destruction didn't happen. It makes no sense, Marvel.
I still don't understand it, but I mean I want to see the storyline because supposedly it's just so batshit insane. I will read it. I just won't pay for it because I'm not paying for you Nazis. I just want to see how crazy you are to make Captain America a Nazi.
Listen, Captain America is the greatest Nazi. He punched Hitler just for
For
effect.
a f- that's I think the best joke thus far out of this. But so yeah, since it is 420, Mucha is the Green Vape, Janitor Joker. He runs his own other podcast. He's going to tell us a little bit more about himself and what he does and why he likes Toku.
Oh god, why I like Toku. Man,
Yeah.
that's like an abyss you don't want to enter.
Well, we're going to enter it.
So, I'm Janitor Joker. You can follow me on Twitter called Janitor Joker, weirdly enough. And I go by the Green Vape because it's an inside joke that no one will understand besides the people of this podcast.
Like you'll understand it if we ever can get someone to write and draw comics with us. You'll get the jokes cuz they're all related to the storyline that we're actually trying to build, but it's going nowhere since we don't have an illustrator.
Yeah, let's just go for analogies. Think of Tommy's like dragon flute, but replace it with like a vape, a green vape, and you get that storyline. And instead of a green candle, I have green batteries that better be charged or I die.
Pretty much
So
it's like
anyway,
Phantom Ranger's Power Ruby, but it has to be
exactly,
recharged.
exactly. So anyway, I got into Toku through the legendary greatness that is Gojira, everybody's favorite grandfather or great grandfather, depending how old you are. And I saw the King of the Monsters when I was like 2 or 3. I can't remember what age, but I was young. And then I saw the second movie, which was oddly enough a weird amalgamation known as Godzilla versus Megalon, where Jet Jaguar appears with his Toyota-sized Adam's apple. And I just fell in love with that whole kaiju-ness that I had to get like every Godzilla movie known to man. And I didn't do it as a child, but as an adult male, I was able to accomplish this dream through hard work and begging people for money because I'm a poor man. But I got into other stuff through the first thing I got into was Power Rangers, which was because of my uncle because he was watching it at the time and just thought, "Hey, you want to check this out?" I'm like, "Sure." And I have a whole bunch of like VHS recordings of like episodes during the airing of Power Rangers, all the way up through Zeo. And I got into Power Rangers. And then during like my high school years, I got intrigued or curious about like the old childhood life I had. And so through the powers of YouTube, I did some video watching as kids call it and watched some old Power Ranger stuff. And then I found out about Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. Now I knew those things existed, but I never had a means to actually watch them until those days. And I forget who it was. Was it DT Kingdom?
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. The first episode was literally me and Project just like saying we wish you wish you had a backlog of all of your torrents or whatever
Yeah,
because we need those Metal Heroes back. We need them
yeah.
back.
Like DT Kingdom, man, was like there for me to make me watch like a whole bunch of shit.
Yo, I got a weird question for you, and I do this to every friend on this podcast or every other podcast I'm ever on. But do you remember when Crunchyroll was literally just like YouTube for, as I like to say it, the weeaboo YouTube, where pretty much everyone just put their AMVs up or stole the fan subs or just put anything on there? Like it was just like YouTube, but for anime and J dramas.
I knew of Crunchyroll, but I never dived into that world because
Okay,
I was like, man, do I really want to be a part of this?
because like a lot of people didn't know of Crunchyroll until it got legit.
Yeah,
And I find that funny because I went there and I saw a lot of like other stuff that wasn't through DD Kingdom on there. And it was usually at the time either stuff straight from TV Nihon, Order of Zeranos, which I love laughing at how they got destroyed because we may know somebody who was sent in there to be a sleeper cell agent.
he was the Captain America of that group.
He kind of was. Um, and I like the other group that was there at the time, but I don't remember what their name was. There was Order of Zeranos, Team Nihon, and one other
Was it?
guy.
Was it? I forget. I want to say it's RRR, but I think that's
No, 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 they were just a podcast.
yeah, yeah.
No, it was.
Man,
I don't remember because I heard they reformed as guys, and then some of them went to Midnight Crew, and then a few of the other guys I think went to like Century Kings. But like I feel like it was like Century Kings before Century Kings just realized, hey, maybe we should just do a few series, drop them, and then just go back, do a few series, and then drop them rather than doing the weeklies. Because I remember like some old Showa shows were like just getting thrown out by like a few other random schmoes back then, and they kind of realized maybe they shouldn't be going on a weekly thing, but more of a batch. And then
yeah.
they got better when guys started just going, hey, we have a shit ton of Sentai, go watch it.
Go watch it. I was like a crazy person because I actually watched some of that shit raw. Like I
Oh, I
didn't
know.
understand a lot of the language, but I was like, I can get what's going on through the visuals.
Yeah, I have this issue right now where a friend of mine just is like shitting on O Ranger, and I'm like, it's one of those ones where it's bad, but you had to be in the era where we were watching that shit raw, or poorly subbed, and just enjoying it to enjoy it. Because I said, if this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand is anyone who's like a Toku fan, like a little before Kiva and Decade, Double, Gokaiger, like if you're before that generational gap of when you came into Toku, a lot of us had to just sit with Hong Kong subs and deal with it, or no subs
Yeah,
at all, and we just watched it. Hell,
yeah. We just accepted it because we wanted to watch the shit.
I remember the greatest story ever, and this is the one that I remember you can agree on, was like the only way to watch Tiga back in the day was if you knew Portuguese and Spanish at the same time and was able to go through the actual Spanish subs and dubs before we
Yes.
actually got what is
That's
it
how I
the
watched a
other
lot
one.
of the Metal Heroes. A
Yeah.
lot of the Metal Heroes were through the Portuguese dub.
Yeah, a lot of people actually sit there and go, how did I get through it? I go, one, I was dating two Portuguese girls back in middle school. Um, and then the other one was my best friend was from Colombia, so his family was fluent in like three different dialects of the common Spanish, language spoken down there. They knew the like actual straight on like full on the lost like Inuit dialogues between the full on Native American like types of branches, the ones that were there through later years, and the ones that were speaking a mix of Portuguese. So that's how I was able to sit through a lot of the Tokus then. But dude,
My way was through man, I'm sure those sites are gone now, but there are some sites that would explain the summaries of like the show and some of the episodes.
yeah, yeah, dude, that's funny because a good majority of the sites are either dead or for some reason when there was the copyright infringement thing, their sites were taken down even though they had no footage on there. It was just
Yeah.
full in-depth stuff that you would think you would see on Wikia. And the funny thing was a lot of the best in-depth stuff was on the normal Wikia, and then people took it and moved it to the Sentai and the Power Ranger and the Rider Wikias, but then like some asshole started deleting it from all the other pages, and people had to go back and rewrite it from scratch. Like, I don't know why it happened, but some jerk off actually like deleted a whole mess of the library that went back past the 85 era of Sentai. Oh yeah. Here's the funny thing. This is what I was going to say to you earlier before we kind of end this conversation of how you started with your Toku stuff. But when you said like your second movie was Megalon, I know how accurate that story sort of is with myself, because when you're a kid in the 90s, this is literally how Godzilla worked for us. It was, you either watched the original Gojira, you either watched the original Gojira, Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, Godzilla vs. Mothra, Godzilla's Revenge, and maybe Terror of Mechagodzilla on TNT.
Yes.
Then AMC had like the rights to Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. And then you had Sci-Fi, which had Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Gigan, Megalon, Mechagodzilla. And Channel 11, if you lived on the Upper East Coast, and you had Channel 11, New York, you had Godzilla 84. And occasionally some of the other Showa series that were shared with TNT, like Rodan and the original Mothra, which was actually shared with Sci-Fi at the time. All of the Godzilla movies were separated throughout all the networks. So the funny thing was, there was also the good time release of the VHSs, which if you was mostly late Showa and Godzilla vs. King Kong. So most of the time, oh yeah, that was also Sci-Fi. So for me and Mucha, if you saw any of those stations, your first Godzilla movies were either the good ones or the bad ones, and you just didn't know which ones were which at the time until you got older. Because I remember the first ones I ever saw was like the original King Kong vs. Godzilla, and then the Oh My Godzilla Marathon, which consisted of nothing but Destroy All Monsters to Mechagodzilla.
Nice.
So that was literally everything I had plus 84. So that's all the Godzilla movies I had until like a couple of months later, a couple of years later, and my dad was able to get the others. But like, when you said what was the last movie you finally got to complete your collection?
It was oddly enough Raids Again, because for some reason I could never find that.
Oh my god. Get the fuck out.
No, I'm serious, man.
Oh my god. I want to fall over laughing because if you go through all the multimediums of, VHS and DVD, Raids Again was the last one I actually needed. Because this is what happened. I was able to somehow score a 84 VHS, and it was the original, like, yellow box version, not the one that was released in the Godzilla gift set with the cool animations and stuff. Like, the cool, hand-drawn, like, box arts, but it was the actual 84, like, poster on the box from, like, New Line Cinema when they distributed the VHS, I think.
Oh, I have that one, too.
I got that one off of eBay when I first started going on eBay, like, for, like, $2, and it was, like, literally down the road from me, so shipping was, like, 85 cents, so I just got it, like, the next day in a mail slip bag. Nice. And then I got Gigantus Raids Again, the regular version. Like, someone had the old VHS that was like a hard to find VHS, and what they did was they ripped it off on a DVD for me. So it was the only bootleg I had until they released the Toho Master Collection.
See, and that was my problem, is that I kept on looking for Godzilla movies, and I should have been looking for Gigantus.
But oh man, that's too funny. I do talking to you. I'm like, wait, if I bring on Joker, this is gonna go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But who gives a fuck?
Man.
Who gives a fuck?
It's chaos when I enter.
I know, but like, it's so funny because like you and me probably have like the most similar story out of the circle of friends. Like when it comes to like anyone who likes 80s Toku, we just go get Projekt. It's like damn. It's like Projekt was raised on it because he's from the Philippines, but then you got you and me who are like, yo, we like the era where freaking what's his face was killing everybody, and it's funny that I can't remember the actor right now. God damn it. Trans's actor. Oh yeah, Hirose. It's when Hirose reigns supreme, man. You don't fuck with Hirose. Just like that.
He reigned supreme in like in Flash, man. He was pretty great in Flash, man.
Yeah, no, man. Like all I can say is, people, if you've not seen Die Ranger or Jetman, just Google search Hirose and just find anything he's in.
Or just Flashman and Liveman, because those are the two series that he was in as Kemp and Lewanda.
Yeah, that was like his two. Yeah, he was in there for at least pretty long time. I think like the only series where he was like sort of a good guy was like a Metal Hero series.
Probably.
I think. But okay. So we got to go on to today's episode, which. All right, people.
No, let's keep on talking. The entire episode's about us talking about dumb shit.
No, we can't. We actually have
vapes are entering your mic. Wheels, you can't stop it.
This crazy 420 episode that'll be released 2 days later cannot occur like this. We actually have just a little bit of sort of news.
News question mark?
Yeah. Okay. So like the lit list, or I should say the list of lit showed when I said introduce Mucha here. For you guys, watching this on YouTube, we now have to talk about the news. All right. So I don't know where we should start. Should we actually start with the big chunky news, or leave that off since we have at least two sort of lighter news topics to talk about? Lighter news, and then go to the chunky news. All right.
Fox News is not going to appreciate what we're saying, but you know what? You have to have that.
Anyways, okay. Yeah. First off, this was late announced, like literally right when we started. Like this is like right before the clock started turning past midnight, because like we started this episode on 420. It's starting to roll over into 421. But anyways, Tamashii announced that they're going to be releasing SH Figuarts Ultraman Type A. Now, Type A is actually what they call the original suit from the original series throughout most of the beginning of the series. Like, they didn't really change the helmet or the suit design till, like, almost the end and some later other Showa era seasons. Now, this one, like I said, has the weird, iconic, creepy face that a lot of people go, what the hell is he smirking at, and why does he look like he's probably gonna molest you? That's because they thought it was a great idea to release this. It's supposedly coming later this year in September. It's going to be retailed at like 6,000 yen. And honestly, this is one of those ones where I'm going to argue and say it should have been an exclusive, and still Mephiles should have been a retail release. Type A is really for the very hardcore, savvy fans, and not necessarily all the fans in general. I mean,
especially OCD fans, because they would want to like dent out that face.
Oh yeah,
like,
make it look like foam. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like me, I just want a nice version of Ultraman. I don't care if it's the more modern take, which I did get for the 50th anniversary. Like, if this version came first, okay, so if the Type A body came first, I would have bought it and kept it in my collection, even if they announced, modern day Type C body. But they're announcing it later, and I'm like, you could have just made that an exclusive. So I don't see why this release in September is that great. It's taking up a spot to be, Ultraman Jack or any other character. And fun fact, Ultraman Jack did not get his name in the series until like years later. He was not called Jack supposedly until like late Showa era. I think people
I have yet
don't
to see
know that.
Jack yet.
Okay,
like, I have some of the subs. I just haven't watched it yet.
It's funny too because we're not gonna get the rest of the subs since that group was like, no Toma, we're not gonna finish it.
No,
blah blah blah.
You must commit seppuku.
Yeah, because some guy said your quality sucks, so we're gonna just let go of you and not finish subbing it. Yeah.
Oh no, inside joke again.
No, this is not inside joke. I'm just putting these motherfuckers on blast. You could have gave us an Ultraman series, but you were too worried about your QC.
But in the grand scheme of things, Wills, it just won't matter because Shout will release the subs.
Eventually.
Ruin everything.
I know, eventually. Yeah, because that's our second piece of news. Good transition. Shout Factory just last week announced that we're going to get on August 15th, Denji Sentai Mega Ranger! Dun-dun-dun.
I didn't even get my Car Ranger yet.
I know.
I ordered it, but I still didn't get it yet.
But yeah, no, Denji Sentai Mega Ranger. And the reason we brought this up wasn't just because it's coming out and it's actually a good Sentai series. And it's kind of weird because it's one of the Sentai series where the Senshi the Senshis are in school, the Rangers go to school, they're fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, blah blah blah.
Exactly. Tuxedo Mask appears as Mega Silver, but only occasionally.
Yeah, only occasionally because he's actually on a timer.
And also because he's a G-Stag.
Oh yeah, you have to go back to the other show. I don't wanna. I wanna be here. Even though I think they had already finished like filming, and he was just having to
likely.
Yeah, he was only needing to return for the B Fighter Kabuto crossover. But okay, so The best way to explain Denji Sentai Mega Ranger is, yes, they're kids. They're at like this cool private school kind of thing, and then this guy called Dr. Hindler shows up, who turned into Furio in the finale. Yes, he turns into that weird red guy in Lost Galaxy. Yeah, that's what the suit's from, and he tries to kill the Mega Rangers, take over the world because evil entities from outer space and different dimensions want to take over the world.
Listen, man,
Generic.
that guy was unstable.
He really was.
He's like that guy who thinks that he's so better than everyone because he can build his own computer and then just wants to flaunt it around to everybody.
And he's also the same guy who's like, hey, you know what? I'm also going to freaking, build this giant spaceship thing that turns into a mecha that then, gets kamikaze to death.
Yeah, he'd rather die winning than lose gracefully.
That then, when it's brought over to America, turns into a Hummer. Okay.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we're giving you guys some big time spoilers, but one of the reasons
I mean that series has been out for a while now.
I know, you could have seen it in like 3 different versions of subs.
I mean, it was finished subbing by who was it? Was it
I think it was Guys.
I don't think it was Guys. I think it was a Million.
I don't know. I'll have to
it
go
was
ask
somebody.
But yeah, no, like it was subbed. It was subbed. Like I think they finished subbing that back in like 2014.
Yeah.
So it's been like there. We've had it. So it's like no problem.
Million-fold curiosity. There we go.
All right. But no, the real reason we wanted to talk about it was there's this big debate going on that some people are supposedly pissed off that this is getting, licensed. People are mad that Shout Factory is still bringing over Sentai, and people think it's killing the fan subbing. And I go, it's not really killing the fan subbing. Like, yes, the torrents have to be taken down because legality issues. It's just showing that fan subbing has done its job in efficiently getting,
spreading the message
that people want Toku. At least see the Sentai counterpart of the series we've been watching as Power Rangers for so many years. Now, I mean, this isn't going to get us Metalder or Jugo B Fighter right away, but like it could maybe lead to that, but I doubt it. I mean, I really doubt it.
I would love them to bring some 80s Sentai as well.
I know, and they supposedly say they have the license, but supposedly they have to like somehow be like, oh yeah, we have to first catch up in quotations, as they only release like 2 Sentais a year, and then be like, we're gonna catch up and then go back in time. And I'm like, as long as you don't make it a gift set like they did the Takara trilogy of the Transformers series, where they accidentally put the wrong episodes on the wrong freaking series, because that actually happened when they sold them in the first time ever in their group box set, where you could only get them, buy them all right now, and you'll get them before anyone else. They screwed that up, and a lot of people don't know that happened. That's a fact. They actually, if I recall correctly, episode 36 from the Headmasters and episode 36 from Victory, or it was Master Force, they switched the discs. So somehow, scripts from different seasons got swapped.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, that's what they I think was their excuse too. Was it happens. We're like, okay. But so, yeah, Mucha, we were having a ball with this though last week when people were just protesting it, and like, what do you think makes these people think about it? Because one of the things we saw from Toku Lord August Ragon is he thinks that people might be just a little bit stingy, a little bit petty, and don't want to pay for this stuff. And I'm like, no, I've seen a lot of people want to pay for this stuff.
Well, that's a damn dirty lie, because anytime like a figure art comes out or a toy that they like from the show comes out, they want it immediately.
I know, so it's like, I know there are people in the fandom that think we should get it for free, but I've never been really like that.
You don't even get it for free when you buy the box set in Japan. So, so like,
I mean, there's no way you can torrent, like, there's no way you can, like, rip it off, like, the TV or whatever. You have to actually, like, torrent this shit still from Japan. And I'm like, that's still, like, you're still paying your internet bill for how good you can torrent a series. So, I mean, like, so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't get it. And I think one of the issues people may or may not be getting mad at this is sometimes don't forget one thing that Shout Factory does, like, they do it the most efficient way. And most people nowadays seem to either have still the argue of, oh, we want it to be done efficient, but we also want it to have like a good font, which is sometimes arguable between the releases of Shout Factory's, series.
Yeah.
And then there's the other fact of there's the people who are weird that are like, we need the TV Neo and fancy fonts. And I'm like,
Well, that's my problem is that this is about professionalism. This is about professionalism. This is about pictures of Spider-Man.
yeah, so it's like, I don't get what the whole argument
You're
is.
not gonna get something super fancy schmancy like TV Nihon on a Shout Factory subs because that's not their objective. Their objective is to release efficient subs for their releases.
Now, the only issue I've ever seen, and this is from the Kaku Ranger release, is that in some of the episodes, the only F up they have is split second timing. They either put up the dialogue before the guy talks or while the guy's in mid like monologue. Because sometimes one of the some of the villains in the early episodes have like these long ass monologues where it's like with the Japanese dialogue that it's like he already said 2 sentences worth, but it only translates to like 1 sentence in English. So that's the only issue I think they've had is timing in some cases. And in the Zyuranger release, it didn't have a nice font. I was not a fan of the basic yellow font. I'm more of the sometimes the embossed embossed bold font.
Yeah,
I like those.
I can get that. That one's really just subjective on that point.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
really
which
is.
one's better to read on the screen. Sometimes the yellow makes it more blatant to read for some people, but other times the white is good for others.
Yeah, I feel like that's also the issue with when you're dealing with, so many people that have eye issues too, is like what's the best for everyone. So I can see where the argument is.
Fancy stuff isn't really going to help them.
Yeah, because I know for a fact that I think Brian Ward blocked me on Twitter because I once compared the basic yellow font to making me feel like I was 15 again watching Hong Kong subs. So I think
it was kind of like that because that's what their Hong Kong subs were.
I know, and I got in trouble for saying that. I was like, come on, you're not gonna tell me that doesn't look anything like this? As I showed them a screenshot from like years ago that I still had on a hard drive. Really? And then I was like, as long as they never look like these bad of Hong Kong subs. And then I showed the one time from the Agito subs where it was like, good morning, and it said ×3. I was like, GTFO, get out.
Man, who was that? I forget. I know who they were. Because there were so many people who subbed Agito.
I know, but it was actually a Hong Kong release from what I remember, a Hong Kong group of subbers that did.
Oh man, the Kuga Hong Kong subs, man.
Those
were
so bad you could tell they were bootlegs.
Fans, if you ever want to experience like true dedication, watch like Kuga Hong Kong subs, because those are marvelous things to behold. It's like watching Blade, Kamen Rider Blade.
Oh god, dude, you remember when the early like DVD rips were out and like the original like you know how they use like the old school like the giant like round modeling like flat flash cards for like the weird lighting effects off the water and off the weird lights that would hit off the suits. Remember like how bad like the photos back then from like what was it Kuga, Agito and like Blade, because they did a lot of that weird like filters and like lighting for like a lot of their weird scenes to make it creepy and ominous. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've said the right word. But like, you remember how they do it, right? And like, it would just look so bad on the original subs, like the Hong Kong ones. And I remember being one of those guys where it was like, I hate Kuga because the quality of picture of whatever was subbing this is just bad. I need better subs. I need better quality picture. And I was like, oh man, like it was weird how like Agito out of all 3 of them was like the best one in the best quality. I was like, no.
But then Midnight Crew came along and answered your prayers.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I think at least every day I watch an episode of Kuga. I think it's like that weird tribal thing where it's like the wheelchair wakes up, he puts on Netflix, watches a couple of episodes of Zio, then turns on his external hard drive. He goes to his Kamen Rider folder. He ponders, Agito or Kuga? He has gone where it all began for the Heisa era. Kuga. Now which episode will he choose? Let's watch.
And it's the Porcupine episode where Kuga goes berserk.
Nah, that wasn't what happened this morning. I think I watched the Piranha one because me and Oga were talking about that one.
Piranha one, I love that one.
I know, that 2-parter was amazing. But Yeah, no, I just
Written by everybody's favorite writer, Inoue.
Hey,
I
that's
love the
insulting the movie.
progression I have over the years. Like early on in like the Tokuness, I was like mixed on like defending Inoue or not because I really disliked Kiva.
I know.
And like now I have become like a staunch defender of Inoue because his stuff isn't that bad
Yeah.
if you look at it.
Okay, this is what I tell people all the time. Inoue stuff gets terrible as time goes on, but as you go backwards, it fits the mold of the generation it was written in.
Like I find it funny that no one acknowledges that he wrote the Jin episodes of Die Ranger. But people love those episodes for some reason.
I know.
But no one ever says, "Oh yeah, Inoue
Yeah.
wrote this episode." They're like, "Yeah, Jin's so cool," but no, like Inoue wrote this
Okay,
episode.
I'm gonna tell you this right now though. The Jin episodes I need to have a discussion with you about on another episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was that one time where I noticed something when I was rewatching on the Shout Factory release, and you said to me, "Yo, you know what? Now that you put it in that perspective, yeah, why the hell did they forget about him killing his girlfriend? Like, what? Why did the storyline just completely forget he straight up murdered that bitch?"
Or how like Ryu wants to be his BFF.
It's like this guy tried to kill you twice in an episode. Why, fam? Why?
It's at that point you just kind of like just watch it because it's Yutaka Hirose being badass.
And I know that's my drug. That's one of my one of my drugs is like if it's an '80s actor kicking ass, you just sit there. It's like anytime Kamen Rider Black reappears in the modern era, you don't question it.
That was my first writer.
You just
That was like when I
bask
was
in it.
getting the writer. The first one I watched was Black.
I when it comes to anything before Heisei, it was Black RX, Shin, J, and Zo. And the reason I went to Black RX first, but then I stopped and I was like, wait, this is a sequel to another series? Let's go watch
That's what
that.
happened to me. That's what happened to me. I was like, wait, RX is a sequel, huh? What's this first one about?
Yeah, because like I went to watch it because I'm like, oh, this is what Mask Rider was based on. This is probably way better than that garbage. And I'm like, oh shit, this is a sequel. So this means this must be even better than the first. And like I was like one of those guys who was like, man, they're both good. Everyone else was like, fuck RX. No, fuck yourself.
Black is pretty great though.
Yeah, I mean like
If there's one writer I want Shout to release, it'd be Black.
it'd be like Black and RX, like just as a oh my god, Wombo combo. It's like
Wombo combo.
just get those. And they're like, oh yeah, and we also got the licensing deal for Zo and Jay and Shin. Like looking at them like, you know me. You know me.
Yes.
Put the pre-order
Man,
down.
that'd be a fun journey just to watch those three movies and how weirdly different they all are.
Even though Jay and Zo are supposed to be the same fucking dude.
It's weird. But Jay's Ultraman, so we can excuse him, I guess.
And Jay's also Geki, so we can excuse that too.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're done talking about Mega Ranger. Like the thing is, without fan subs, we would not be getting official subs. What do you people not understand?
And it will allow for more of the other shows to come over.
And we need them. We seriously need them. Hopefully we'll get B fighters because I keep telling people we need the B fighters.
Like, it's the thing where eventually over time, those fan subs and just copyright in general will just go after them.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna get
getting
caught.
the official releases will just allow you to have access to those shows that you like.
Exactly. But still, like I said, Ultraman XEAD is our next topic. We are going to be talking about the fact that we got the toy catalog reveals. Now, this thing kind of came at us kind of weird, because like a couple of nights ago, I got like some of these images like on close-ups and like terribly pixelated on Twitter sent to me. Then I got them sent to me on Facebook. I got them sent to me on Skype messages. And I was like looking at it going, man, this shit looks fake. And then lo and behold, 5 hours later, like the full catalog comes out, non-pixelated, good, in a good resolution. And I'm just sitting there going, oh god, why? And then it's like, XEAD. Yeah, the series is going to supposedly premiere on July 8th. And it's been revealed he is the son of Belial. And I'm just sitting there like, when the fuck did Belial have his kid? Who was going to tell me that he had a kid? Who? How? What? And I was like, just questioning.
When the Ultra Bees and the Ultra Birds love each other very much.
Like, that just came to my mind. Like, how? When? Where? What?
I
No.
think Belial just probably fucked the galaxy and just
So
said,
much that they were like, we need to create a yin to this yang.
yes, his own child.
Alright. And so.
I mean, screw the galaxy. Yeah, I didn't mean the F word. Because we're family friendly here at Blit.
Los Ingobernables de Tokusatsu. We're not family friendly, though.
We're not.
We're not. There's
We
nothing.
just called everyone peasants who like spam subs.
We're just. But no. But no, the thing is, when I saw this, and like I showed you, I linked you, like I'm still looking at it like going, okay, this is weird. What's going on? Why is this happening? Can someone explain? No one can explain. So it's like, it's weird, because a lot of people also say he looks like a ripoff of the Chayo suit. I mean, if you look at his face, he looks like Belial before he turned evil, and at the same time he also looks partially like the Chayo suit that was supposed to be made, and I can understand it, because it just looks so weird. And the thing about Exceed is, like, he's going to be using these things called the Power of Ultra Capsules, which they're kind of like, they kind of look like the Monsuno capsule devices that we had for that weird TV show, cartoon anime thing, and he loads them into the thing called the Exceed Riser, and it activates a fusion rise. Now, from what I can understand right now, is Exceed kind of uses an ability similar to Orb, where he puts it into like this weird claw kind of knuckle scanner thing, and he will become different forms. Now, some of these forms, or all of these forms, are based on other Ultras. We have Primitive, which is his base form, which is Belial plus Vintage Ultraman. Then we have Exceed Burning, which is Seven and Leo. We have Exceed Acro Smash, Cosmos and Ultraman Hikari. And then we have Magnificent, which is the father of Ultra and Ultraman Zero. Now, ironically enough, the Burning form actually looks so weird. Like, when I saw that, it looked the most photoshopped out of them all. The form with his, Cosmos and Hikari, Acro Smash, looks pretty badass. Makes him kind of look like, Hikari when he was, what was it, not Mirror Knight, when he was, what was it, the Hunter Knight Saguri, right?
It was something like that.
Yeah, it was Suguri. I always screw up that name. And then we also have, like I said, the Father form, which looks pretty incredible. I mean, you can't really go wrong with fusing Zero with freaking Father of Ultra, and it just looks amazing. Like, the suits look cool. It looks pretty badass. It has like this weird stellar look to its design, and it's just interesting. It's kind of hard to explain, but as one sees, the images on the screen here on YouTube, you'll understand. Other capsule sets that we're gonna get will also feature Belial's monster fusions, because Belial's also going to receive this fusion ability as well, where he will create creatures known as Skull Gamora, Thunder Killer, and Betanium Zeton. The Skull Gamora is the fusion of Gamora and Red King. It kind of looks like a mix between like Silverus and Goldoros, rather than actually Gamora and Red King. Thunder Killer is Elect King fused with the Ace Killer, pseudo ultra alien like thing that went after Ultraman Ace, as well as Mabius, and I believe he also went after Ginga at one point. Botanium Zeton is the fusion of Zeton and King Joe, and ironically enough, the fusion sort of looks like one of the versions of Hyper Zeton used in the stage shows. And then there's a secret fusion that is hinting that Belial will fuse himself with the essence of Juggler from Ultraman Orb. And then Exceed will use the Exceed Claw, which he can use in tandem with the Exceed Riser. The function is not known at this time. It's most likely going to be like some kind of weapon or power-up for himself, as well as he will also be donning a belt that holds his capsules. And it's also been stated that Ultraman Zero may be like a secondary Ultraman to the series, and he will be receiving the Ultra Zero I Neo, which will allow him to evolve past his current state and become Ultraman Zero Beyond. And it will also link with the Exceed Riser, which is used by our Ultraman Exceed. Now, this all came out literally like either late on the 19th or early on the 20th. It was kind of like mind-blowing, because everyone was just sitting there at first thinking, we were dealing with something fake. And Mucha, looking at these scans, like, what's your thoughts first off?
My first thought is, wow, Ultra 7 gave his son sunglasses finally after so many years.
He gave him a new pair.
Yeah, here you go, son. New pair of sunglasses for you, kid. Thanks, Dad. Why am I talking like this? Because you're a disappointment. It's interesting. I think is it continuing with like Orb's whole thing where he fused as well?
That's what it seems like it's trying to build off of the fact that like they're like, oh, we're just creating a new way to do fusion like Orb did with another Ultra, but at the same time, it's like, why use a different Ultra and then go back to a storyline that's been like left alone for like the last 4 years? Because they kind of like just left the Belial story on a cliffhanger since Belial came back during Ultra Zero fight like 2-3 years ago.
Mm. I mean, everything looks interesting that I might want to check it out, but I feel like if I want to get into like the whole fusion thing, I might want to check out Orb first, just because I want to understand like the whole concept behind fusions. Because it seems like they're going like the Kamen Rider route or Sentai route, where they have form changes for the Ultra that can be marketable for them.
Pretty much that's kind of what happened with Orb, but since Orb only had 3 at the start, like, he only had 3. Technically, he only had 2 atop of his initial form, and then he got his he got one more power up, and then he got his upgrade, and they kind of used it effectively to the show in some regards. But then, like, once he got Origin, it was kind of like Eva Emperor, where he never needed to really change back.
Mm.
So it's like you kind of got to watch Orb because it kind of gives us a good standard on what's probably going to occur now with Belial's son here, Exceed, who, like, I feel like this is kind of phoned
that's also
in.
seen. I mean, that sounds interesting, but like most things, they can always sound interesting, but kind of fall flat on its face.
Yeah, because I mean, look at his son's forms. Like, do you think they look cool? I mean, like, they look decent the other forms, but it's like
They're decent, but like I think they need to translate on screen is what would make them effective. Like if they can work on screen being cool and everything, then I think you might have people interested in buying like the toys for Ultraman and watching Ultraman.
yeah, because my argument is with Orb was like Orb has all these cool video game forms, and the Lightning Attacker form doesn't translate too well as a suit because of certain bodily functions or designs when you look at its video game counterpart, like its concept art. Like its
Yeah.
concept art looks so badass, but it can only be used in the sense of an anime.
Yeah.
Where,
Which
like,
something that Super Eye does do well that I can get on is how they handle their CGI.
yeah, they're starting to handle it a lot better than anything else.
Like I think compared to like Toei, they're like above and beyond
Yeah,
in
they at
my
least have a
opinion.
good grasp of CGI. They really do. Especially like I think their grasp of CGI really came into like uh terms over the course of the Ultra Galaxy movie towards like now. Like that's where we really saw them be like, "Yo, we know how the CGI works now, son.
Yeah,
We have a
like
budget."
this was like a progression for like Ultraman. Like I remember Nexus, like I watched Nexus and it also had CGI, but it was used in a way that you didn't really care that they were using CGI
Yeah,
because the stunt that was being performed would be ludicrous in a suit.
because like another good example is like go back and look at this early CGI in the '90s when they would have like Tiga fly sometimes, and it was just like freaking ugly.
Yeah, like this was a progression, and the whole form changes was a progression since like, well, really Ginga started the whole like using the other Ultraman as a power source, right?
Hmm.
And I feel like they're just trying to find like a stable ground, and I guess Orb stuff really sold well, or at least was well received because it looks like they're
Yeah.
continuing.
From what I heard from Mr. S, a crazy thing did happen that the wholesaler he buys his stuff from to sell, he got like over 20,000 or 10,000 like sales, like stock sales, ordery sales for the orb ring. Like his wholesalers were calling in saying we need more of it, so he sold like 10,000 to 20,000 units of the product in box. Like he sold like a shit ton. to people, you know what I'm saying, to just go and
Yeah.
sell for him. So, I mean, Orb did very good, and I think one of the reasons Orb did good was honestly because Crunchyroll started putting
Yeah, I
it
was gonna
back
say
into
that. I was about
dominance.
to say that. I was about to say, like, Crunchyroll's involvement with, like, spreading the Ultraman really probably made it a lot easier for people to watch it.
And then another thing that actually made it a lot easier that a lot of people don't want to put into the consideration is they marketed the name of Hideo Igarashi, you know, who played Kai and Deno. Like, they were literally billing
Oh,
it
yeah.
around him, who he's also sort of a little, like, known name. He's a known name in Japan, not just because of Deno, but because he's done other roles that are pretty good on TV in a sense that, like, they were like, yeah, no, we have this guy here as our main ultra, and people got behind it. And then you have freaking the glorious bastard known as Jugless Juggler, who was just amazing. Yeah, no, this news here is like kind of awesome, kind of caught a lot of people off guard. So like everyone's just sitting here like, we like it, we love it, we hate it. What's going on? What's going on? Now we have to wait for freaking July 8th, and that's what, three
That would
months
make
away.
or break the series.
And then watch somehow because Zero's in it, it actually does better than Orb. Like it like just like racks in all the money because you know anytime Zero appears, freaking like panties get wet and wallets get thrown.
Take our money and take our sunglasses.
I know, right? It's like that's literally the moneymaker right there. And then our final discussion was like on Super Sentai Hero World, Kamen Rider World, and Toei Hero Daishugo. Yes. And the thing is, the reason we wanted to talk about this is why hasn't any fan group out there subbed the third and final part? Like, I've not seen the final part that features freaking the Metal Heroes at the time, which was a Jan Person and Blue SWAT. Like, I've never seen that part. Like, I've seen clips of it where like you can tell they tried to really market the fact that it was supposed to be like the Terminator kind of ride movie thing in Universal in their Japanese theme parks, where it's supposed to be like very 3D and trippy-esque with you know Jam Person shooting a knee out of his like his rocket knee and his rocket punch kind of ability at the screen to give you that effect that you were like you know the audience was like Billy Gold getting attacked. But other than that, I've never seen the segment that like led into him fighting Billy Gold, who is his arch like enemy in the series. All we've ever seen is the typical Kamen Rider and Super Sentai one. And is that just because Metal Hero is smaller, or just they've never actually officially released that version on DVD or home video? Like they say on home video it's been released, but then why haven't groups subbed it, or why haven't we found it yet? Like it should be out there. Like someone should have tried to sneak it up on YouTube by now. But I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I know of it. I have not seen it because it's so hard to find.
Yeah. And when it comes to the two parts that we've seen, they're actually kind of well constructed, like, you know, little like break, typical like, you know,
Yeah.
like just something that like it's just like a feel good kind of moment, you know? Like when you watch it, it's like you're just supposed to take away that it's being made for an amusement park attraction, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't think of it so seriously because what is it? When I read the description of the movie, supposedly the Blue SWAT Jam Person part takes place first, then it's actually the Sentai part, and then it ends on the Kamen Rider part. And I guess it's because back then that's how supposedly the shows were supposed to have aired in order when they were all airing together, but at this time there was no Rider airing at all. So they just reused Zoe and Jay Suit for their part, where they fight,
the fight
Shadow
Giant
Moon.
Shadow Moon.
And then Sentai fought a lot of monsters that were like reuse of parts, while like it was like the last 5 teams: Die Ranger,
Jew Ranger,
Kaku Ranger, Die Ranger, Jew Ranger, Jetman, and
Five
Five
Man.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, it's funny when people ask me which is my favorite of the two. I sometimes think that the Sentai part is a little bit better just because of the cameo appearance by Burai throughout all 3 pieces as the one brother who just keeps falling into brother with his sister who keeps getting trapped by the villain of the movie.
Yeah, he has the worst luck.
Like it's like, hey, I'm obviously not Burai playing just some random casual Joe Blow on the street with my sister, adventuring around, and lo and behold, we get captured for like the third time today.
Man, if only he had his Earth powers from Changeman, he could do some damage.
He really would have done damage, but they went with the last five Sentais.
Yeah, but like seriously, though, he was great in Changeman.
Go watch Changeman. He actually
Yeah,
did something and didn't die.
yeah. His horse died though.
Yeah,
That was sad.
it's sad too because I only know of that. I've never seen it. I've known of it.
Oh, it's a sad episode, man. Don't even get me started. Like, if you are a fan of like your pets and you don't like to see them die, it's like, no, I can't handle it.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. So it's like when you watch it though, like how did you first stumble upon it? That I think that's the better question since like it's such a short like each piece is like less than 10 minutes long. Like how did you stumble upon these things?
How did I stumble upon them?
Because
Like
I have
most things in my life, happenstance of just randomness. I think it was just I was on YouTube again. It's like the old
yeah.
YouTube story when YouTube actually had all the videos up before copyright purge began. And like it was like, oh, here's Super Sentai World. What the hell is this all about? Oh, all the teams are there. Well, five teams are there, I should say. I think I watched the Super Sentai World first because I think, investigating Kaku Ranger or watching Kaku Ranger at that time.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, like it's still the same YouTube. It was on YouTube. They were both there. And I think you and me are both gonna agree. At one time, we were more heavily Sentai guys,
Yeah.
and it was the Sentai part that let us in first. And then being a fan of Black RX, I was like, oh wait, Shadow Moon grows in this, and he fights
Yeah.
a giant Kamen Rider named Jay. I was like, okay, I'll go watch this.
Yeah, like what's this madness?
And I find it funny though that the Kamen Rider portion actually is canon to the events of the Kamen Rider Black movie, where all four forms fight alongside each other like a Sentai.
Oh yeah, that RX film where he's like was it Crisis or something? Like Crisis sent him back through time or some shit.
Something like that, or it was like it was just weird.
And like the Golden Priest appeared and he had to fight them, but he couldn't beat them. And then he ran away, and then all the Crisis monsters appeared, and then for some reason, inexplicably, like all of his RX forms appeared to help him out.
Yeah, and it's like it literally says that it's canon to that actual film, which I find pretty funny. Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't need to make sense. It just happens.
Yeah, it just sort of happens.
It just sort of happens. And you kind of just got to sit there and enjoy it because don't forget this is made to be just an amusement park theme. Like it's supposed to just be for that. It's nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Have fun with it. And I think more people will actually like the Sentai part more. It's sad but true. I really feel like the Sentai part is what's gonna get everyone addicted. Like you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's gonna be like,
Rising up from their seats, applauding.
yeah, because like it's so cheap. But like when you see all five mechas next to each other fighting, Daimos or whatever his name was, it's just amazing. And I want there to be a day where we finally get the part 3. I want to finally see it in its entirety. So this is like a call out there. If you're a fan subber who knows somebody who can get it for you guys, please do it because I want to see it all. I mean, I'm honestly I've said it before, and I think the first episode with Projekt that I'm not really a fan of Blue SWAT and Jam Person, but I wouldn't mind seeing it just because of it's part 3 of a defunct movie, so it's like why not?
That's funny because I actually do enjoy Blue SWAT a lot. I think I just enjoyed how different it was from like the shows at the time. Like it really felt like it was getting down to the nitty gritty of like being a police drama.
I think that's one of the reasons why it's sort of popular still. Is it actually treats itself as a drama.
The weird thing is that because it was badly like received, I think in the early on, like later on in the series, it actually became more same
Hmm.
to like similar Metal Hero shows. Like they had like introduced like an alien who I forget his name. But yeah, there was like a gold alien that was like their fourth member or something.
Now, this is the funny thing. I'm not a big know-it-all when it comes to like certain Metal Heroes. Like I've seen probably like I tell people all the time. I think my best known like things when it comes to seeing Metal Heroes was actually all the Space Sheriffs and the ones that consist of VR Troopers pretty much and Beetleborgs. So I've seen like all of those seasons, but I didn't go out of the way really to check them out. The only one I really liked was really like Winspector and Exceed Draft, and I still would like to finish those one day.
Nice. I love Jiraiya.
Everyone loves Jiraiya, and like I think I watched it. I think I watched it not knowing it was a Metal Hero at the time when I watched it. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of those ones where like I even watched the Raws of Zuban that was out there, or Zubat.
Zubato's pretty good
Yeah,
too.
it's great.
But like Jiraiya is like probably the most purest ninja toku that Toei has created, because they actually got like ninja experts to work on the show with them. Like actual ninjas worked with them.
That should have actually been the Toei Hero Daishugo. Just make it all about Jiraiya teaming with Kaku Ranger at the time.
Yes. But no, we got a disappointment in the ninja.
Oh God.
Which apparently like said, you know those cool like stunts that all those people did during like the 80s? Now we're just gonna green screen it because screw you, audience. I'm like,
screw you, audience. You're not allowed to have good things anymore.
No, we're too cheap for that now.
But yeah, no, like I said, Super Sentai World, Kamen Rider World. It's like one of those easiest things you can find on YouTube and still enjoy.
I think it's because they're so short that like
Toei won't take it down.
Probably, yeah. There's not many sound effects that can
have
copyright claims to.
It's like all of them are just like pew 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 pew.
Yeah. Because usually what gets the copyrights is not actually
it's
like
the music.
Is the music, yeah.
So yeah, I believe it. But yeah, no, man, like that's one thing we want to talk about was just like where the hell is our third part, man? Like we're missing something here. Like something's missing.
The story's incomplete, just like all of JoJo, I guess, because that's still going on.
Oh God, that's kind of true when you put it in that case.
We're on part 8, people. JoJolion. There's a guy in a sailor suit with gaps in his teeth.
Oh my God, that kind of makes sense. And we find out one part's going to be called The Return of Ambulance.
Oh God, not Ambulance.
Ambulance MVP, man.
Yeah. He's
like,
the ultimate stand user.
He really is, man. Just kills a guy because he's an ambulance.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually treating him like he actually has a name.
No one knows who drove that thing.
I know, we're still trying to figure it out. Was it an Autobot? Was it Ratchet?
Oh man. Oh man.
But yeah, no, man. Anyways, like I said, get us part 3. We need it. That's why we went on this weird rambling tirade, which shot over time, I think. But I'm probably gonna cut out some of this stuff because I'm just sitting here like, man, we are just rambling. So I'll probably save like some of this dialogue for another day and another dollar.
This is what happens when I enter the show, man.
I know, like now, if we had a Marvel podcast, you guys should have been here the other night.
Oh man, my ramblings on how I despise Marvel's like marketing,
and how you want to do a better Ultimate story than Ultimates.
Yes, I do. Because like nothing says great writing like killing off so many characters for no reason other than to say, hey, we killed them. I mean, look at Attack on Titan. How we don't talk about Attack on Titan around here.
No, we do if it's about the soundtrack. We just don't talk about it if it's the actual anime.
I mean, death is great and all, but you know what would be really good? Not being shit.
All right then. So, anyways, we're gonna wrap this episode up because I think, like I said, I think we went overtime, but I'll probably clip it down so we're not overtime. I'll figure this out as I'm editing.
You see, what's happening right now during this entire segment is just that Super Saiyan 3 music that's happening when Goku first transforms against Majin Buu, and you're just hearing us rambling, and it's really just Goku screaming, going, ah!
Yeah,
the podcast is growing longer and longer like Goku's hair.
Yep. Anyways, let's wrap this up because we just gave ourselves material for so many other episodes of Los Inglenables de Tokusatsu that I'm gonna ask Mucha, where can people follow him and what other shows does he do? Since I think he forgot in his little description of who the hell he is. Like, what the hell is his podcast called? You know, the one that he runs and follow and yada yada yada.
It's not Anasatsu, I can tell you that much.
Shots fired.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
I won't tell anyone. Don't
Oh
worry.
shit, we're recording. Yeah, this is Janitor Joker. You can follow me on at the Twitters. That I don't really talk much. I just shitpost, really.
But that's what he's good at.
Yeah, I just shitpost, even on Facebook, really.
That's
What do I do on social media besides shitposting? Maybe sometimes I post a review.
But
I
that's
guess.
that's why you're on this podcast in the first place. Like, you're one of the unofficial official members.
Yeah.
Like, you're a Sixth Senshi. It's like when we find out Burai existed. It's like, wait. He's been a hyperbolic time chamber? Yeah.
Release the Kraken, man. But yeah, you can follow me at Janitor Joker on Twitter. I run a podcast that I'm eventually gonna restart, but I've been so busy with life. Toku Warriors. You can find that on YouTube, maybe, unless YouTube is being done with its searches, which happens from time to time. Or you can find it on the Facebook or on the Twitter at just call it Toku Warriors.
And we'll also try to host it at Hero Club when we get actual real hosting.
Yeah, when I actually am not a lazy peasant that has other.
I was gonna say, did you actually say peasant or pheasant? Because the last two times I wasn't sure what the hell you were saying with that.
It's all about the pheasants, man.
It's all
The pheasant peasants.
Damn right. So, I'm Wheelchair21. You can find me on YouTube at Wheelchair21. Twitter, Wheelchair21. My Instagram is Taja_Doyle, because some guy stole the name. And you can check out Hero Club at Hero Club for Life all over social media. Like, pretty much Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Hero Club for Life. Check us out at hero-club.com. And we will see you next week with another episode of Los Inglenables de Tokusatsu, which maybe will have Projekt, or it'll have Joker, or it'll have Metal, or it will have Oga. It all depends on who actually wants to show up. Hey, it's Wheelchair21, and thanks again for listening to an all-new episode of Los Inglenables de Tokusatsu. If you want to hear more content or see more content from the Hero Club YouTube channel, we're going to need you to subscribe, like, comment with some feedback, and share this channel with a friend. We also would like you to check out our website, hero-club.com, and follow us on various social media outlets just by looking up Hero Club for Life, as well as the stores you see are where we shop. Anyways, thanks again, and we'll see you all next time.